Going to send it on out to Dre Cordero and Matteo Bonetti on the call. Enjoy the match.
It is the first big match of 2022 amid a choppy restart in European domestic soccer. 4 Serie A games have been postponed so far, but lucky for us, not this one. Alongside Matteo Bonetti, I'm Andres Cordero. It is one of the biggest, most promising, and most important matches of round 20 in Serie A, with Scudetto and Champions League implications. Milan can climb to within a point of leaders Inter. Roma could move to within 3 of a top 4 spot. All eyes on the head official Daniele Chifi as the cards and the whistle. The return of Lorenzo Pellegrini, a massive, the only change really in Jose Mourinho's lineup from the side that drew 1-1 against Sampdoria in the final match of 2021.
And Lorenzo Pellegrini was one of the best players for Roma in the first few months of the season. Jose Mourinho said he wishes he had 11 Pellegrini, so great to get him back after an absence. And definitely a lot more first-team starters for Roma than a Milan side that's been absolutely decimated when you go through the starting 11, whether it's been the AFCON tournament where they lose 2 holding midfielders in Kessie and Benacer, or all the recent COVID cases. But this is nothing new now. In the last few weeks, we've seen every single team in Serie A affected.
Meanwhile, a little wardrobe malfunction for Roma starting goalkeeper Rui Patricio, as Jose Mourinho on edge, as are we all. A big match to kick off the calendar year in Il Calcio. It is Roma set to kick off, moving from left to right on your screen, and Tammy Abraham will do the honors. Year 2 under Stefano Pioli for Milan. They were top of the table at this point last season through 19 rounds. They're just 1 point off the pace of that first Pioli campaign. We are underway in Rome. The first marquee match of 2022 in Serie A. And right away they're looking for the run of Lorenzo Pellegrini, who's marked closely by Chifi. It's a free kick for the Rossoneri.
And it's more of a 3-5-2 for Roma. Vertu, Pellegrini, and Mkhitaryan are going to be the 3 central midfielders. You're going to see Zaniolo just playing off of Tammy Abraham with Viña and Karsdorp as the wingbacks, but this is pretty interesting midfield. 2 players, especially Pellegrini and Mkhitaryan, should be able to get forward, combine well with Zaniolo.
Well, Milan closed out the first half of the season with a critically needed 4-2 win away to Empoli. That snapped a 3-game winless run. It had been a disastrous 5-day stretch in which they dropped out of the top spot in Serie A and crashed out of European football. Florenzi getting forward.
And Andres, for Milan, it's just about getting a lot of these players that have been on the fringes up to speed. They're without their first 3 choice starting center backs in Tomori, Kjær, and Romagnoli. Not just that, but the losses of Franck Kessie, one of the most important players in the lineup. Zlatan Ibrahimovic not leading the line.
Raffled into opposition territory by Magnan, looking for Messias. Brahim Diaz, a neat layoff from Giroud. Salamakers. Joe Hernandez. It's good effect on the ball, but Giroud not reading the intention.
And that first attack, you see what Giroud can do so well. Back to goal, coming a little bit deeper to just play in that run from Brahim Diaz. He's got a nice touch on the ball. He can do some of the similar things that you see from Zlatan Ibrahimovic in terms of hold-up play and just getting those attacking midfielders and wingers further up the pitch. Speaking of wingers, Salamakers normally playing on the right, so as a right-footed left midfielder now, he's probably going to be cutting in a lot more.
To your point about the absences, as Brahim Diaz draws the foul here, wins a free kick in a more dangerous position for Milan. It's a back 4 for the Rossoneri that's been patched together with duct tape by Pioli.
Really is.
Right back Kalulu, who's played both right and left back this season, lines up in central defense.
And we had seen him,
Gabbia, who's rarely played.
We've seen Kalulu at an emergency center back role last season, and one thing I found that he struggled with, Andres, is those aerial balls, heights of opposing strikers. So someone like Abraham, if it's a one-on-one duel in the air, that could pose a bit of a risk. Driven in by Tonali, curled in toward the
part of the area. Smalling was there, and well, Florenzi is not trigger shy, even from that distance. Didn't take a fortunate deflection. It'll be a corner.
Yeah, it wasn't long ago that Florenzi scored a really nice free kick from just outside the box. You remember that game where he played for Roma against Barcelona, scored from within his own half.
He reminded me once or twice. I believe it kissed the post on the way in. The first real flash of danger from Milan, and there could be more. Smalling once and twice. The third time cleared out by the English center back. Tonali in a battle with Zaniolo.
What a hit that was from Theo Hernandez. Seemed like it took the slightest deflection. Here's another look at it. The header out from Abraham. It did slightly off of Tammy Abraham, and what a reflex save that was from Portuguese keeper Patricio. It's the kind of performance they need from Theo Hernandez with so many players on that back line. Just the dynamism that he poses anytime he gets forward on that left foot.
There was a crowded 18 in that sequence of play. We'll see where a potential infraction may have taken place.
Are they looking at a handball in that deflection?
VAR official is Gianluca Aureliano, who was communicating here with Daniele Chifi.
Look at that angle though, Andres.
Is it
the arm was outstretched from his body. Right there, yep. And that was a great replay, but did it catch the outstretched part or did it catch his shoulder? It's hard to tell from that angle.
Well, that last replay suggested that maybe it touches Kalulu first and then Abraham. 5 minutes gone. First real danger from Milan, and shortly after, a first pivotal decision for the officiating crew.
And they need conclusive, irrefutable evidence that it did touch any part of that outstretched arm. And that's the big problem for Tammy Abraham, is he did not have that arm tucked in alongside his chest. This is going to require a magnifying glass, isn't it?
Yep. Chifi has his loop, and he's going to go take a look at the pitch side monitor. And I think the question here is, it did look as though it struck the arm of Abraham, but is it the shoulder of Abraham and not the arm? And if it's above the sleeve,
the t-shirt line,
then it is a playable part of the body. If it's below it,
if it touches his shoulder, it seems like it just was the upper part of the arm from that replay. This replay, I think, is where it showed the upper part of the arm took the slightest deflection.
Well, Abraham pleading his case, but it is falling on deaf ears. I still think it's a little inconclusive, wasn't it? Whether it struck the ball of the shoulder or below it. But Chifi did not have to look for very long before awarding the penalty. And it's Olivier Giroud, outside of Frank Kessie, the only other player to take a penalty for Milan in Serie A this season. That was back on match day 12 when he converted against Cagliari. And now a chance to fire the Rossoneri into the lead. Giroud against Rui Patricio. And the Frenchman makes no mistake. Expertly executed penalty. Milan have the lead. It's Olivier Giroud with his 5th of the season, and it's Milan 1, Roma 0.
Calmly taken penalty there from the Frenchman, side-footed, sends Rui Patricio the wrong way, and he just tucks it into that bottom corner. Hasn't been able to score much or gotten many opportunities from the first minute in the last few months, Giroud, after a really good start in the summer of his Milan campaign. That's one on that replay that if the goalkeeper guesses correctly, he's getting a touch onto that one. That wasn't exactly right into that bottom corner, still central enough that all Patricio needed to do is guess correctly.
But it was a penalty that won it for Milan in their first fixture back on Halloween Day. Frankesi's
Missing all these players, hit the woodwork twice, and really kept control in the second half.
and it means that Milan climbed provisionally into just 1 point off the pace of league leaders Inter. Milan 3, Roma 1, the final score in San Siro.
When it's all said and done, a 3-1 win for Milan over Roma, a crucial 3 points for them. And Marco, you said this was embarrassing for Roma. Please elaborate.
Listen,